This video is on the special 2023 offering that will be available starting next week from Sunday, November 5th through Sunday, November 12th. It will be in the eBay store LW8 Lane, and the link will be provided in the description of this video. Recently, several scouting memorabilia items have come into my hands that are of significant historical and monetary value. This video is to discuss very briefly a few of those items. Each of those items deserves an entire PowerPoint and presentation and video covering just them, but I just want to give a little bit of history surrounding each item that will be offered. If you have any questions regarding these items, please reach out to me. The first of these items is a bronze Livingston medal. This medal was awarded to Russell Groffman in 1917. Scout Groffman from St. Louis, Missouri, along with his brother Lewis, were members of Troop 22 in St. Louis. Russell Scoutmaster enlisted in the Army at the outbreak of war in 1917, so Lewis, age 16, and Russell, age 15, decided to keep the troop active in his absence. Troop 22 worked diligently in the war service, selling Liberty bonds and war stamps. Lewis did well, but Russell was outstanding, selling enough war bonds in 1917 to win the third-place bronze Livingston medal. Russell, an Eagle Scout, went on to have a long career in the public utility in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and enjoyed 5 grandchildren until he died at the age of 84. This grouping does not just have the Livingston medal, but also has a number of his other medals, which are pictured on the right. All of these will be offered in one grouping on eBay. There is also a good amount of paperwork that comes with the collection. It is not all pictured, but if you have any specific questions, please feel free to reach out. The second item to be auctioned is the silver Livingston medal. This medal was awarded to Heber Lee Mosby. Heber Mosby was the first Eagle Scout from Clarksburg, West Virginia, an industrial town that was the third largest in the state in 1918. Mosby was a driven scout, but had not done well in either the first or second Liberty Loan Campaign. When the third Liberty Loan Campaign started, Mosby decided that he would try to be the first in the nation in sales. He almost reached that goal. Mosby was relentless, giving his practice 4-minute speech to anyone who would listen. In Heber's words, I spoke in theaters, factories, at patriotic meetings, urging the people to buy bonds. On the last night of the third Liberty Loan, I was informed that my total sales were 950 subscriptions and the amount of $123,350. I returned to Scout headquarters in 20 minutes with a $50 bond subscription from Mr. J.P. Davis to make the total sale 951 subscriptions amounting to $123,400. I did not have any instruction book or previous sales training, and I was a Star Scout at the time of the third Liberty Loan. In context, Heber had sold the 2023 equivalent of $8 million in bonds. He had won second place in the national, and there was one. He had won second place in the nation. There was one silver medal awarded in 1917. This is the one silver medal for 1918 awarded to Heber Lee Mosby. The next 3 items that are offered are 3 different life-saving medals from the teams. This medal was awarded in 1913 to Charles Goldfuss. Charles Goldfuss was from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he received this medal in 1913. It is interesting to note that the medal has the earlier T.H. Foley hallmark, which says Madison Avenue. One of the easy ways to distinguish a Foley life-saving medal versus a Dejas and Cluss life-saving medal is that the chains will go through the scroll at the top of the medal. The Dejas and Cluss medals, they added 2 little rings under the Be Prepared scroll, where the rings from the chain would attach to those as opposed to going straight through the scroll. Here's the second bronze life-saving medal that will be offered. It may be unique in that it has the details around the Maltese Cross that say Honor, Boy, in America, and Scouts. It is very interesting to note that this medal was awarded at the same time as the Charles Goldfuss medal. It was awarded to Loring Williams in 1913 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Also note that on the back, the hallmark has changed from Madison Avenue to the later style T.H. Foley hallmark. It can be assumed that the Goldfuss medal may have been the last of the Madison style awarded before this style was introduced. To my knowledge, there is not another medal with the lettering details around the Maltese cross in a collection. It has been thought that this could be a prototype medal that was initially offered to the Boy Scouts, and then the Boy Scouts decided they did not want the initial detail around the Maltese cross. However, since the medal was already produced, it was just put into inventory and then issued to the next scout who would have received it, in this case being Loring Williams. And this is a silver life-saving medal. This medal was awarded to Scout Gerald Healy for saving the life of Mrs. JWS September 10th, 1916. The silver award was awarded to Boy Scouts for saving a life with considerable risk to one's life. There were only 140 issued from 1910 through 1923 by the National Council. The 143 number does not mean just the Foleys, it also includes the later style honor medals. There were far fewer Foley silver honor medals issued than the Degas and Clust silver honor medals. At least that's my understanding. You can tell it's a Foley from the hallmark on the back, as well as the way the chains attach from the medal to the scroll. Now, this is a really interesting piece and is part of what will be offered in next week's auction, and it's the Hornaday Wildlife Protection Medal. Dr. William T. Hornaday was praised for his groundbreaking work in taxidermy, zoology, curation, and the wildlife preservation. Hornaday is best known for his work to save the bison, his writings, and his leadership of the Bronx Zoo and the Wildlife Conservation Society. In 1914, Dr. William Hornaday sent a proposal to the Boy Scouts of America, offering to provide them with a yet-to-be-created medal for the members who provide distinguished service for the protection of wildlife. Under Hornaday's proposal, the BSA itself would select the medal's recipients through the National Court of Honor. Trustees of Hornaday's Permanent Wildlife Protection Fund would have to approve each nomination. Scouting accepted Hornaday's offer, and the following year the National Court of Honor began to submit nominations to the trustees. None were accepted until 1922. When a scoutmaster from Pennsylvania, Harry Hall, was approved. A second medal was awarded in 1926 to an Eagle Scout whose name is lost to history. And in 1934 and 36, the fund made 2 more medal awards to BSA recipients. Dr. Hornaday passed away in 1937, and the BSA proposed to continue the program, but make the award a BSA award and name it the Hornaday Medal. The trustees of the fund agreed. The first Permanent Wildlife Protection Fund Gold Hornaday Medal was awarded by the BSA in 1941 to J. Francis Ritter, Jr. of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Ritter was a 17-year-old Eagle Scout when he received the honor. There are 3 other recipients of the Permanent Wildlife Protection Fund Gold Hornaday Medal. One in 1943 to a scouter in Toledo, one in 1945 to a scout in Ohio, and the 4th and final medal to 18-year-old Eagle Scout Gerald Gouthier of Manville, Rhode Island in 1949. Gouthier's medal appears here shown on the screen. The BSA took full control of the Hornaday program after 1949 and made first gold medal awards in 1952 to 7 scouts. So the interesting thing to note is that this is Gerald Gouthier's award. It was the last of the wildlife protection medals. At this point, the BSA was already looking to take control over issuing these awards and to make them a fully BSA award. Notice on the medal on the left that there are no lettering under the deer at the bottom of the medal. They've been removed by a jeweler before the medal was issued to Gauthier by the Boy Scouts of America. Initially, the medal would have had PWLPF, which was the Permanent Wildlife Protection Fund, in high relief in that space at the bottom. Now, the reason for doing so was that they were transitioning away from the fund issuing these awards at the behest of the Boy Scouts and actually making it an entirely BSA award. So this is, as far as we know, the only example in a collection of a transitional medal that was actually awarded to a scout. At the 2023 National Jamboree, this medal was on display in the Jamboseum. Here is part of the board with some of the information related to the medal. Feel free to pause the video and to look over these amazing items. For the final part of our offering will be this grouping of items from the 1947 World Jamboree. These will actually be auctioned individually. I do ask that you please be very kind to me. I speak no French, and I will try to go through and tell you what some of the subcamps were for. However, as I said, please just be very kind with my pronunciation of a language I do not know. So first, you have the Algeria subcamp. and this subcamp hosted South Africa, Denmark, Iceland, Portugal, and Great Britain. Then you have the Alsace subcamp, which hosted Armenia, Cuba, Ecuador, Spain, the UK, and USA. I'm not sure. GB is abbreviated for Algeria, so I don't know. I'm assuming that's Great Britain, but then I guess it kind of conflicts with the UK, which is under Alsace, so I don't know. Agno is Belgium, UK, Greece, and Haiti. Aquitaine is India, Iraq, Italy, Luxembourg, and Nicaragua. Auvergne is Costa Rica, Formosa, GB, USA. So Burgundy is GB, Holland, Poland. Brittany, I think, is South Africa, Belgium, Iran, Switzerland. Champagne is Italy, Norway, Siam, Santo Domingo, Great Britain. Dauphine is Denmark, UK, Lebanon, Philippines, Poland, Syria. Flanders is Chile, GB, Egypt, San Salvador, Czechoslovakia. Languedoc is South Africa, Brazil, Finland, Great Britain, Hungary, Venus. I'm not sure where that is. Lorraine is South Africa, UK, Mexico, Norway, Switzerland. Normandy is Argentina, Belgium, UK, Liechtenstein. Provence is Colombia, UK, USA, Switzerland, Czechoslovakia. Savoy is Canada, UK, Holland, Peru, Sweden. Sailors, their camp was located in Corbu Island, north of Musin, accessible from the left bank, 500 boys. I'm assuming the translation software actually translated the French word into sailors, so I'm not sure which one that's actually supposed to be. It's the Sea Scout one, but I don't know the French word off the top of my head. Mastery, I think, once again, I think the translation software translated what the French word was into that. But it's the badge of subcamp leaders and their deputies. Serve is Camp de la Force for service routeliers, theater troops and choirs like La Lyre, 5,000 truckers. CM Camp, the Hive and the Four Winds for female staff and pack leaders. Extension Camp for disabled scouts, paralyzed, blind, deaf, and dumb, 500 boys. So that kind of gives you a rough idea. I do know the Zodiac aren't mentioned there. They're collected as subcamp patches, and that is true. However, in a way, my understanding is that there were 3 different colors of Zodiac: blue, white, and red. I don't remember the order they were issued in, but they were for scouts who came into the Jamboree as visitors, but then camped at the Jamboree, I think. And that's why they're kind of, they are subcamp patches, but they were really for visitors, and depending on when you went, was depending on which one you got. So they had a period that was blue, a period that was white, and a period that was red. I hope that helps a little bit. These are really interesting items. Some of the countries were split depending on how large of a contingent it was. U.S. in a very large contingent, so we were in multiple subcamps. Some of the items on the lower right, those kind of tags, those were visitor passes, but I think they were for visitors who weren't camping overnight, if that makes sense. They were just there for a short period of time, like a day or one night or something like that. This is what I was kind of reading off of. You can go through and look at it at your own leisure if you want to pause the video. It's from a translation software from a French book to US. I don't have a better list. I'm sure there is one out there somewhere. And that is all for this little presentation on what the offering is going to be this coming week. If you have any specific questions about items, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Once again, this is just a little bit of an advertisement, a little bit of a teaser, just let you know that this is coming. I hope you all enjoyed going over these items with me, and you can look forward to seeing the items at auction soon.